There's a deck which has been very prominent in MarvelSNAP and always been around the top of the meta as one of the best decks, if not the best deck in the game. Today we're going to take a look at that deck, which is the DeathWave deck. We're going to take a look how it fares in the current meta and is it still one of the best decks in the game. So stay tuned. Let's go. Hey, Milky here, back again with another video for MarvelSNAP. Today we're jumping in and looking at the very popular DeathWave deck for Pool 3. This deck has been insanely popular, not only in climbing the ranked ladder to Infinite, but also is something that is well known as one of the best decks in the game. For me, the strength of this deck is that it has options. And if you heard me talk before, options and flexibility in your play is one of the strongest things you can have in MarvelSNAP. You obviously have some very strong play lines that you can go down in the early game, throughout the mid game, and into the late. But having options in those turns, especially being flexible to the locations and the plays that your opponent might have, can definitely give you the upper edge in a lot of those games. So let's go ahead and jump into the deck breakdown and talk about some of the cards in a bit more detail. All right, so this has been the DeathWave list that we've been running. It's got Deadpool in it, so hence the wave pool kind of bit on the end there. But this list kind of ebbs and flows and changes a little bit as the meta comes and goes. Some people don't run Arnim Zola at the end there. They kind of focus on getting big Taskmaster plays as their final push in the game. Some people don't run Deadpool. They like to run Squirrel Girl or other cards which can get a little bit more destroy and make death a little bit cheaper. But for the most part, this is the one that we've landed on as the most consistent deck and something that works quite well for us. So jumping into some of the cards in a bit more detail, you've got key cards like the Hood and also Nova, which make their way into a lot of destroy decks these days. They're just very solid cards. You've got an upside with your other destroy cards in the deck while also being able to benefit from their kind of like the Hood having negative power, but Nova you can kind of buff the rest of your board. So they're very solid cards to include. Deadpool's definitely a flavor pick for me. He's also a new card, so I'm definitely trying him out. But for me, he's actually been really consistent. He benefits the rest of the deck. Cards like Venom and Carnage, you can definitely get some benefit there, but also he just kind of rounds out your turns well. Often you're not fully using up your energy with this deck, and sometimes when you are, Deadpool can slot in there with a little bit extra power boost to your board. Also, I think Deadpool works quite well with some of the Wakandan locations at the moment. Shuri's Lab can be a great way to kind of buff him up early and get him rolling into the game. So I think he does work well in the current meta for sure. As always, Bucky makes his way into destroy decks, and for this one, he's just a really good power push on the board. You can kind of potentially eat Bucky's with Carnage, get the Winter Soldier out on the board, and then be able to eat all of that with Venom, which can be a really good power push for sure. I think he's just a really solid card to include in almost every destroy deck. Carnage is a great way to clean up all of your lower cost cards while getting benefit to those and pushing power across the board, so he does really well in that sense. He's also able to clean up, things like goblins or other locations which might produce cards that you're not so favorable, so that's something to consider as well. Venom is an enabler of this deck. He's able to consume all of the power going at a single location and add that to himself. He has great synergy with cards like Taskmaster and also Arnim Zola, where you can spread all of that power across the board late on in the game. Killmonger is a great control card in this deck, but also a great way to make death as cheap as possible. In this deck, if you're able to destroy 1-drops on your opponent's board as well as your own, you can go a long way to making death even cost 0, which can be a huge push of power. It's kind of unexpected, it's really hard to counter, and it can set you up for some massive plays, potentially with a death and an Arnim Zola on the same turn, which can be really difficult to play around. Wave is one of the cards that this deck is named after, and because of the way she synergizes with death, if you're able to get some destruction, destroy some cards early on in the game, and then wave on 3, you can potentially get your death out onto the board for 0 cost, which would allow you to play death and another card on turn 4, while your opponent is definitely only going to be able to play 1 card. It's just something to think about, but she's a great enabler of getting death out onto the board early on. Deathlock, solid destroy card, just works well with the other pieces in the deck. He's an inclusion I'd have for sure. Taskmaster is a super fun Pool 3 card, looks incredible, but also has some amazing synergy with cards like Venom and Death. He just does really well in terms of being able to spread some power on his turn. If you can set up for his play, he can be an awesome inclusion in this deck. So we then have our big turn 6 play, and if you can Arnim Zola something like a big Venom or a Taskmaster or even a Death, you can go a long way to pushing a lot of unanswerable power across the board on the final turn of the game. Arnim Zola works really well with some key cards in this deck, and I think he is a fantastic inclusion in the DeathWave list. So the other card that the deck is named after is Death, and Death is just an awesome pull 3 card. She's one of my favorite pull 3 cards, and if you can unlock her early, she can fit into destroy lists super well. She has an ability which allows her to cost 1 less for every card that is destroyed this game. Not just your cards, it's your opponent's cards as well. So with all of the destroy cards you have in the deck and the ability to destroy things in the deck, she often gets out for really cheap, even 0 sometimes. So she's a surprising amount of power, and she's a fantastic inclusion in this list, and just does really well in this style of deck. So that wraps up the deck breakdown. Now we're going to take this deck for a spin. We're going to put it to the test. Hopefully I can show you why this is one of the top decks in the game, if not the best deck. So we're going to jump into some games now and see how we go. Sakar pulls our Deathlock. So probably the best one in our hand to pull, to be completely honest, because an Anamazola would have been very bad for us to pull. He's winning. Okay, so Baxter. Interesting. No turn 2. That's alright. Go ahead and skip. Duplicating his hand early could be really impactful. It also could be not that great for him with Moon Girl. So, So I think we... So if we wave, we lock ourselves in. We have nothing good to wave out. So this turn is Deadpool, which feels really sad, but oh well. And I don't think the Deadpool keeps the buff from Nidavellir. I'm pretty sure it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. But that would be very nice if it did. But it doesn't. So we do actually get rewarded with the hood here. So that's always good. Nova also would have been great to have, but let's go ahead and make this play. Nova Carnage? Maybe Killmonger. Okay. That's alright. The exact same thing happens for us. Interesting deck this guy's got. He's got like a hand-sized deck with Nova and Killmonger buffing things up in it. Very interesting, to be honest. Okay, so we have, we can do some nice things here with this. We could also just do a absolutely massive Venom, which I think is the play. And then we do the old Rope-a-Dope. So I think this is actually going to be the play. We do this, and then on the last turn we split. Right? I don't mind that snap. I don't mind that snap. This is going to look weird to give up Nidavellir, but damn, this is going to be spicy. Because we're going to get all that Nidavellir power from Venom. I want to snap here, but I don't want him to run, so... This is a big boy. This Venom's a big boy. And we get a nice little 2 power, Oh, no, it costs 1. I thought he was going to cost 0 for some reason. Yeah, I think this is the play. He's gonna try and beat us here with some cards and whatnot. Let's go ahead and snap. Hopefully we can do the old Rope-a-Dope here. I think it's gonna work. We'll see. The old bait and switcher. I don't know why I'm calling it a Rope-a-Dope. Just a bait and switch. Okay, so Cable. Getting some big buffs on these on this collector. It's quite nice what he's done there, but it's not gonna be good enough. We are gonna get the 32 power, well the 27 power on each of the locations there. Big buffs across the board. Huge turn 6 play. Hey, very nice, very nice. And we're able to play that one out for 8 cubes, so awesome way to win that one. Central Park. Central Park's actually fantastic for us with Killmonger in hand. Hopefully we can draw into death here. Hopefully we can draw into death. It's also great with Carnage too, so we can potentially really take advantage of this. Alright, what do we want to do here? We can We've got Venom plays, we've got Killmonger plays, we've got so much we can do. I think I'm just gonna take the 6 on Carnage. We can also do like a Venom Demon on turn 4. Which would be pretty huge actually. That's definitely a consideration. For sure. Ooh, okay, so we got Bucky now as well, so what do I want to do here? So this turn I can Bucky Bucky Demon and then Venom next turn. Which I don't mind actually. Into it with a Taskmaster coming up the following turn. Pretty dang good. Go 13, 14 on Venom, 14 on Taskmaster. Pretty good, pretty good. Killmonger did get a fair bit worse, but I think we're going to snap this one. Unless he runs armor. Even with an armor. Okay, so he has his own Carnage, so I'm assuming he's not going to be running armor. Probably safely make that assumption. I would love to Killmonger here because... No, I don't actually have initiative, so... Killmonger's not going to do anything. Let's go ahead and do this. We'll Taskmaster over into right lane, I'm thinking. Into Wakanda. Maybe we even draw a Zola for the last turn. That would be just the icing on the top. But we'll see. Actually, would it? We're gonna have a Bucky there. That's a will be a dice roll. But we still had 12 power regardless, so not too bad if we do draw Zola. We'll see. He's definitely thinking this one through. It's definitely having to think. Grand Central is something to be considerate of here as well. Just to think about. Okay, Beast. Wow. Okay. Double value on the Forge, sorry. Okay, so I think we definitely do this. I think Wave would be the pull for us next turn, hey? Because I could do something else, but if he has a Shang-Chi or something, let's go ahead and make this play. Just in case. It does stop our Zola if he Shang-Chi's the Venom. Few things to think about here. He could have also beasted this demon to make it cross 0, which would have in fact been maybe better for him, but I don't know. I guess it would have been better. He could have had a 0-cost demon on the final turn to play wherever he wants. I don't know what this deck is. It's an Iron Fist. This wasn't like created or anything. It's really interesting. This guy's really thinking these turns through for sure. How interesting. Deadpool? What an interesting deck. What an interesting deck. Oh, so the Killmonger's actually great for him. And it doesn't benefit us in any way, shape, or form. However, we can do this. Oh, wait, where's their cloak? Cloak's middle. Okay, so we can do this. So, like, this does actually lose us. Left lane. So we could just do this, and whatever it hits, we just accept. The reason this might be better is because he's probably assumed he's lost this lane, right? So he probably won't play in here. And whatever we hit, we win here, which is good. And whatever we hit, we potentially will be in the lead here at least. So I think actually not moving anything is the play here. Looks weird, but I'm going to do it. I did forget about that beast being able to move. Okay, so now we actually had to hit Venom there. Wait, no, we draw the left lane, so we do win on points difference. It would have made it more comfortable if we hit the Venom. But we do get the points difference with the draw in right lane. That's cool. I'm glad we figured that one out. Wasn't sure he was going to move out of this location for sure. But I guess we ended up making potentially the right call in the end. I didn't want to move something out because we would have lost this location if we moved something out. So I think that was the right call in the end. Daily Bugle. Okay. A little bit of information. Dude, there's so many leaders around at the moment. There's so many leaders around at the moment. It's good to know that he has one, especially if we wave early. Oof, that Venom is not one you want to see go. Alright. So we have wave into leader, which is a play. But I feel like if I wave, maybe he makes the same play. Which could be a great way to get his leader out of the way, to be completely honest. Yeah, we don't have another better play than this. So maybe we wave into leader. Just to try and get his leader out. Because we know it's in his hand. And I think that is going to be the play. So we're going to go wave. These two don't matter. We can do some Killmonger spice later on. I don't think it really matters where we play this one all that much. I think he's gonna leader here, which is fine. Wave into our own leader, which be good, and we won't play anything else. So I think he was planning on going wave leader as well. So which is good for us because we'll just leader him here. Now we don't have Carnage, so just need to make sure that we don't have Carnage, we don't have Venom. So I think this is still going to be the play. Let's go ahead and do this one. Leader. We get the value here because... Is that how leader works? When you leader a leader? When you lead a leader, I did not know how that works. This is good science. Very good science. So... This is going to be the play. We have a Taskmaster on this. Maybe we draw into Death next turn as well. Maybe we draw Deathlock. Who knows? Just make sure my sequencing's right. So we'll go Deadpool first. Then we go Nova. Then we go Killmonger. And we don't want to destroy this. So let's go this. So let's go ahead and do this. Perfect. Killmonger into Killmonger. So he got our Killmonger. We're going to get the full value out of our Killmonger though. It was a big Killmonger for us, for sure. So we did play Demon last. And yeah, so we get the retreat. I think board space was a big thing for him with him already playing his death. But that leader, I didn't know that leader works like that. Like when you play leader. Alright, Atlantis. Okay. I guess let's go ahead and get this out. I don't know. I actually don't know the interaction between Atlantis and Deadpool. If he keeps the buff, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I assume because it's acts the same as Nidavellir that it doesn't. But it'll be good to find out, actually. Okay, so Shuri's lab can be kind of crazy for us later on. Let's go ahead and do Nova. Alright, so we're gonna get a cheap death, and we're gonna get a very cheap death. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's only gonna cost 2 off the bat. So we could so I think this destroys first. Yeah, we don't actually get the buff there, but that's okay. So I think that one's okay there. We can do a... Do we want to... I think what we actually want to do is this. That sets us up for a big last turn. For sure. Yeah, this is good. This is really good. I'm not sure what this guy's playing. He has not played a card yet. So his first card he plays turn... Well, he played Sunspot turn 1, sorry. This is going to be pretty mental, I think. He drew his leader. Okay. Very interesting. I think we're down this route now. We have to go for it. So this is actually going to be the power we go for. Yep, this is it. And we're not actually going to be playing into middle anyways. So we're going to do the old bait and switch again. Lots of baiting and switching with this deck. For sure. So I think I'm gonna snap him because we're flipping it, right? Unless he does something middle. Wow. So I think this was a bot. This was a bot. This ended up being a bot play. There's no way no one, like a person, makes that play. Like he had, what, 5 power at other locations? Okay, so unfortunately this is a great example of bots that are in this game because there's no other reason like for him to play this. Like he has 5 power here at this location. He has 7 power here at this location. There's no way that he ever makes that a person like makes this play, right? Like he knows that I have an 8 power Deadpool in hand. Deadpool here just wins the game. Deadpool here wins the game. Plus whatever else I had in hand. So we did go for the high roll play. We did lose this one, but this is an example of like a bot, especially with like, okay, so we've got a generic avatar, we've got a very generic name. So these bots do exist in the game, the kind of unbeatable bots which make really random plays like this Professor X play. It's just like losing them the lane. So yeah. Alright, so that's it for the gameplay with this DeathWave deck, with a little bit of Deadpool in and there on the side. This deck was really, really successful in recording the games for this video, as well as being a deck which I've used pretty consistently on certain parts of the ladder when climbing it. It's something that I really enjoy playing, and as I mentioned earlier, because it has so many options and flexibility in the way that you play it out, I think it's something that can counter other decks really well, respond to challenging locations really well, as well as something that's just going to do really consistently if the locations are kind of the more neutral locations, for sure. I really enjoy playing this deck. I think it's super fun. Destroy decks are probably my favorite archetype in the game. I kind of just gel with them, and I think they make the most sense to me, as well as find the most enjoyable to play. All right, so that's it. That's going to wrap us up for this one. Thanks for sticking around. Really hope you enjoyed the video. Consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video, all that good stuff. Until the next one, I'll see you then.